Are you the successor trustee of a trust and feeling a bit lost? Well, maybe the trust owners passed away now, and now you're left wondering, what on earth do I do now? Well, don't stress, you're in the right place. We'll walk you through it step by step so you can avoid overwhelm, family drama, and costly mistakes. What's up? I'm Corlandos Scott. I specialize in helping families protect their loved ones and their legacies by keeping them out of court and out of conflict, my two most hated C's, and I do it through smart estate planning. Now, if you're here, you're probably a successor trustee, or you know someone who is, and now you're wondering what to do with the trust after the trust owner passes away. Well, stick with me and I'll break it down for you in plain English. And don't worry, we'll sprinkle in a little bit of fun along the way to hopefully keep things light. Let's start with the basics. Now, when the trust owner passes away, the trust undergoes a big transformation. Before their passing, it was a revocable trust. Now, that meant the owner could revoke things at their will. They could make changes anytime, like adding or removing assets or tweaking who gets what. But the moment the owner dies, the trust becomes irrevocable. Think of it like a locked safe, no more changes. And that's where you, as the successor trustee, come in. Now you're holding the keys to that safe. Sounds straightforward, right? Well, here's where it gets tricky. Every step you take from here matters, and mistakes can lead to family conflicts, it can lead to legal trouble, or even a stern letter from the IRS, and nobody really wants that. Let me share a quick story. I once worked with a trustee who thought their job was just signing a few papers and mailing out some checks. Well, spoiler alert, it's a lot more than that. But don't worry, like I said, we're gonna walk through it together so you don't make the same mistakes. All right, here's your roadmap to being a rock star trustee. Number one, obtain a tax ID number for the trust. When the trust becomes irrevocable, it's treated like a new entity. That means it needs a tax identification number. Basically, the trust version of a social security number. Now, this is crucial for managing the finances and filing taxes. Number two, sign an acceptance of trustee duties. I say before you dive in, make it official. Sign a document that confirms you're taking on the role of trustee. This protects you legally and avoids confusion later. Number three, verify accounts and beneficiaries. Double check everything. Make sure all accounts listed in the trust are properly titled and match the beneficiary designations. If an account is still in the deceased owner's name, you'll need to retitle it under the name of the trust. Number four, manage debts carefully. Now here's where things can get sticky. You'll need to pay certain expenses like property taxes or maintenance, but don't rush to pay off debts or distribute assets until you've verified everything. Trust, but verify. Number five, notify beneficiaries. I say communication is really the key. Now, you're legally required to notify all beneficiaries about the trust's administration. Plus, keeping everyone informed really helps avoid unnecessary drama. Here's a quick tip. Set clear expectations with beneficiaries early. Communicate with them. A little communication can go a long way in preventing any kind of misunderstandings that could pop up along the way. Real quick, let me know. Have you ever been a trustee or known someone who has? What was the experience like? Drop me a comment below and share your story. I'd love to hear it, and I bet anybody else watching would love to hear it as well. Now let's talk about what not to do. Now, these mistakes can cost you time, money, and peace of mind. Number one, don't ignore investments. As a trustee, you have a fiduciary duty to manage assets wisely. That means you can't let a stock portfolio sit unmanaged or allow real estate to fall into disrepair. Number two, don't skip verifying assets. Now, I've seen trustees miss out on key assets just because they didn't comb through the trust documents carefully. If you don't verify it, you can't manage or distribute it. Number three, don't rush into distributing assets. I get it, you're the trustee, so it's tempting to start cutting checks to beneficiaries right away, but that's a recipe for trouble if there are unpaid debts or even taxes. Check this out. I know a client who distributed funds too quickly, only to discover a hefty tax bill later. Let's just say that conversation with the beneficiaries about money needing to come back, it wasn't a fun one. So by taking your time and following the right steps, you can avoid these pitfalls and keep things running smoothly. All right, here's the truth. Being a trustee isn't just about paperwork. It's about navigating emotions, managing expectations, and sometimes resolving some conflicts. Now, that's why it's so important to work with professionals. Now, a lawyer like myself, a financial advisor, a CPA, these people on your team can help guide you through the process and help you avoid liability. Think of it like having a GPS when you're driving through unfamiliar territory. And here's a pro tip. This is why it's so critical for families to work with a lawyer to create a real life and legacy plan. Now, a good plan doesn't just include documents. It ensures assets are properly inventoried and titled, and that the plan is updated as life changes. Some kind of set it and forget it estate plan is almost guaranteed to fail when loved ones need it the most. All right, handling a trust doesn't have to feel overwhelming. If you're stepping into the role of trustee, click the link below and schedule a call with us today. We'll make sure you're on the right track and managing your responsibilities with confidence. And if you want to learn more about protecting your legacy, check out my video on how to put assets into your trust. It's packed with some practical tips to help you avoid court and avoid conflict and keep your loved ones safe.